Well, I'm going to dust off the old prepper report because things have significantly changed in the recent months. Now, I know many of y'all non-religious people don't want to hear about it, but we had our first blood moon of the, I think it's the triad or quadrad or whatever. It's supposed to be 4 of them in a row. And things have definitely changed. The sun, fixing to flip, or they're saying it is, it's past due. It was already supposed to be in its solar cycle, so something's going on with the sun. Anyway, let's go to weather. Weather first. What parts of the country are not having too much rain are having too little? And people that are excessively hot, other places excessively cold. I just got reports of frost in Colorado. All right. Anyway, so the weather has definitely ticked over the 50-50 mark. So it's like, okay, watch the weather. The only thing that hasn't gone over the 50-50 mark is the volcanoes. Seismic activity, it's still rumbling. Like I say, the sun has kicked up a notch. I may bring it over the 50-50 mark, but it's already at the 50-50. It's like economic definitely went up with the government or the, I don't know, was it an independent agency that came out with the true GDP numbers? Because I remember all during the winter, I'd say every time they said, well, GDP is growing 0.5%, 0.5% this month. I said, what? You've got to be kidding me. Because, I go to the grocery store every month, and when you go every few days, you don't notice the price increases like somebody that goes once a month. Gas prices are too high. I just can't go to the grocery store every few days. I have to go once a month. Same with the feed for the animals and everything. So you get to budgeting, and when you go once a month, you notice big increases. You say, that was not that way last month. That was, $1 cheaper. So if you really want to know what prices are doing and make it easier, just shop less. Go less often. Shop once a month for your family. You'll notice the increases big time then. So, economic is done. I think we're over the point of no return here. I don't think it just can't be fixed. It's gone. The U.S. economy is gone. All the debt increases that we've had over the past 3 presidencies, 4 presidencies. Let's see, we got Blumber. Yeah, he's a blumberer. And then we had Bush, that, of course, Bush had 9/11 to excuse, but wait a minute. We should have went in, kicked their butts, and left. And all that stuff in Iraq didn't do any good. Here we go. Which goes to why war on terror is gone up. Nobody's even mentioned that the UN is going to build bases in Mexico. UN peacekeepers in Mexico at the border. Yeah. How far is it for them to get in the United States from there? Guess where they're getting their money from? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is sending money to is. Oh, like I've been telling everybody. I mean, you can go back in my videos. I know I've mentioned this several times. You buy these big trucks and drive them around for your personal pleasure, you're giving money to the big oil corporations. If you have a big old truck and you're using it for personal business, you're helping destroy the economy. That's where, for your personal running around, get you one of them little pregnant roller skates like a Volkswagen or a little Nissan hatchback. They're built here in this country, the little Nissans. Get one of them little bitty cars that are good for gas, But no, you got to show off in your big old truck. So, anyhow, pandemic is 50-50 because chances of a pandemic are always 50-50 unless we have an outbreak. So, and government totally out of control. Most all of our soldiers are going to be deployed. There ain't going to be nobody here. Well, maybe that's why the UN peacekeepers will have to come in our country, because all our troops will be overseas. All that military equipment being moved overseas is so the people here won't be able to defend themselves. The homeland, as in Homeland Security, is supposed to defend us, will become the terrorists. No, become is the wrong word. They already are the terrorists. Man. So there's your little update on the prepper report. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Let me go through weather. We went through, okay, we got flooding and drought, so it's uptick. Volcanoes still kind of low. Seismic, which is closely linked to the sun, and so we got threats from the sun. Economic, terrorist, and government are the highest threats at this time. And of course, weather is acting weird too. So your biggest threats right now, the way I'm seeing it, is economic terror, as they call it, which is war, which could lead to the collapse. The economic part, the dollar, we're so far in debt, we're over the prefaces. So, you know what? Next time I do one of these, I'm just going to up that to a 9, because I don't see any way back. I don't see any way back out of the economy. I mean, my grade school math can't do 1 + 1 = 22. It just it's not computing at all. They say I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but yeah, right. Even I can see that this is no way to turn it around. And they, these rich people, I call rich person that makes $1 million a day. They're making $365 million a year. The only way that they can turn it, is if they start buying, or they start giving some money away. They have to, how would you say, buy stuff and give it away. They could buy truckloads of rice a day, a truckload of rice, and give it to food banks across the nation. Not only would that run up values of commodities, but that would infuse money into the system. That would infuse money into the agricultural system without government doing it, and you would feed the poor. So if you're making $1 million a day, why not go out and buy a truckload of food? You get to deduct it anyway. Buy a truckload of beans every day. You're making $1 million a day anyway. You can buy a truckload of beans a day and just distribute it to all the food banks. Because beans are, even though everybody gets tired of them, they are the closest vegetable or vegetative type food to being a perfect food. Don't get me wrong, I didn't say they're the perfect food, because you don't have vitamin C and all like that in it, but they're pretty darn close as far as having proteins and carbohydrates in them. The ratio of protein to carbohydrate is even better than wheat. So if you want to give anything, beans is the way to go. Or legumes. My personal preparation, it's out the toilet. I'm going to be dead. I got some body fat to live off of, but with the inflation the way it is right now, I'm doing good to feed me and some dogs and some chicken, corn scratch to throw out to the chickens. Luckily, the horses eat grass mostly. All they get is a little mineral supplement block that they lick when they want to. And, I do give Cleo a little treat every day, which is basically a couple of cups full of protein feed supplement. And I squirt her vitamin supplement on top of that and throw an egg in it. You know, I make sure she's all got through grazing and her stomach is full of grass, and then you throw that on there and it all mixes up in the stomach and just, dilutes itself. So that's how. So I'm not really paying anything for horse feed right now. Got rid of Goldie, which, as far as a prepper point of view, is probably a mistake. But if I could do anything right now, I would probably try to buy myself a cross horse with a oh gosh, what's it called? Something crossed with a draft horse. And some of people call those warm bloods because they can be used for both pulling and riding, and they're good at both. And they're big horses. Now, you get a good warm blood, it'll be 1,200, 1,500 pounds. You throw 400 or 500 pounds of supplies on its back, and you're headed cross country. I mean, and you got to figure your backpack. The most people that even hike the Appalachian Trail, one on their back, is about 70 to 60 pounds. So you got a horse. You can get on the smaller horse to ride, and the bigger horse carries the stuff, and you don't have to worry about fences. You don't have to worry about nothing. A pair of bolt cutters, keep on going, cross country. Horses can swim, so they can forage rivers, everything. So if you've got land, a horse and well, even a draft horse is good, but if you can get a draft cross, you can use it for both pulling and riding, so a family member could be using it as a riding implement. Wagons and buggies are mainly made for roads, so during the first part of any collapse or disaster, you'll want to stay clear of any roads, because that's where the majority of the people will be funneling themselves, is on highways and roads and streets. Why? Because it's programmed. The roads and streets are programmed into everybody's mind. Like maybe a big wheel buggy would be good for if there was a group of farmers that wanted to put gates in their fence rows, and we could travel around a local area without going through the highway system, which would be where all the deviants would be funneling through. It's just an idea. Okay, so that's about it. Maybe I'll make another one of these later. I'm fixing to do a report on a type of drug the doctor gave me that sucks. It's a antidepressant that is supposed to be for pain. Supposed to help with pain, nerve pain. I guess the pain I'm having wasn't nerve pain, because all it did was mess with my head. I mean, I've been on it for, it's the longest I've ever been on an antidepressant, which is probably about 5 months, 4 or 5 months. And I noticed the last couple of months, I didn't even want to get out of bed. It's like, so, you know, when you give an antidepressant to a person that's not depressed, bad doctor. Bad doctor. Anyway, like I said, y'all watch the economy. Pay close attention, because I think the next set of numbers coming out is within 30 days to show the second quarter of 2014. And I'm thinking the first set of numbers that you see come out will be to the upside, but not much, but that'll be fabricated, just like they did the first quarter. They lied about the first quarter being up. It wasn't. It was down. And the second quarter, they're going to lie about it, saying, oh, no, we got all of our stuff back. And then it'll go into the process, and then it'll come back and say, hey, that wasn't right. We didn't, you know, and then they'll change it. So if it comes out within 30 days, let's see, that would be July 25th, August, September, the truth comes. That's about right. The next blood moon is sometime around September, isn't it? that's about right. So somewhere, the bubble's going to burst probably this year. I don't know how fast the race to the bottom will be, but the bubble will pop probably this year. It looks like it's looking real close like it right now. Anyway, talk to y'all.